questions about this matter.
Okay.
And we are recording this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So just to speak on the microphone. Okay, can I call you Urs?
Yes.
Okay, by your first name. I would first ask you to tell on your own words about the affair we're treating today, so the relationship between Eva and the messages she has received from Erik. So could you first start explaining what do you know about this subject?
Yes. Okay, I met Erik first in 2012, and I have been involved with him for 10 years now.
Okay.
In the context of Solar Fire, the company. Mm. And when this started, it was in beginning of 2021 when Eva alerted us as a board and colleagues that she wasn't feeling treated well by Erik Wissens. And she also shared a recording of the meeting she had with him, with us, for us to see that he repeated over and over again things for her to understand, even though she acknowledges that she understands everything. And so this was the first evidence she sent for us to be alerted to the issue. And then it continued, so maybe should I speak?
Yeah. First, tell me, what is your position on that company?
I am the CEO of the company.
Okay.
And at that point, I was part of the board, and I was, I believe I was Chief Operating Officer at that time.
Good. Yes, please go on. Go on.
Yes. Then, this became a problem in the company because I realized that at some point there would be some tensions because we were a board of 5 people and we had to make decisions together. And before everything was managed by Erik, more or less him being in control. But with this new board that started in October 2021, things changed. And we had a lot of discussions around governance and how to work together. And so there started to be opposition there in how the CEO's position would be restricted. Erik was opposing that. Yes, Eva shared with us that she wasn't treated right.
Why? Can you explain more?
Yes. She was in this meeting. Erik was telling her to repeat after him to show that she understands what he's saying, and asking her if she understood over and over again, and repeating over and over again the same things.
Why do you think he did that? What was his purpose? I mean,
well,
now
looking back, it seemed like a way to suppress or oppress her, to make her conform and follow his whatever he says.
Okay.
Yes. Then it went on because not only this was a problem, but also we had concerns about his performance as a CEO, and then more and more evidence came from the board that Erik wasn't paying attention to some legal things, things that he has signed, authorizations that he believes he has, that he didn't have. So he overstepped his authority in many places, and this is documented. And we brought this to his attention, that there were mistakes that he has made that are mistakes, and we try to look for solutions. But Erik never ever admitted a mistake. He said, there is no mistake, I have all the rights, I have all the power, and everything he did is right. But it wasn't true. So because he was not able to accept any of the mistakes he has made to be mistakes, there was no good way forward. and it led to him being fired from the company.
And you think this is the reason for him to put his attention to Eva as well?
Yes, I believe it is the issues with the company that Eric is using against Eva, because Eva has a lot of power in the company and Eric wants his power back.
Do you think their previous relationship, sentimental relationship, has something to do with it or not?
In what way?
Because they are ex-couple, so...
I'm sure this also affects things, but can you be more specific?
I mean, I'm searching the reasons why would he take Eva as a center of his attention.
Yes, I think because I have realized this also many times, because when this became impossible for Eva to tolerate, we also sometimes nominated somebody else to manage the conversation regarding the business with him, for example me, and then he would say he does not want to talk to me for this reason or for that reason, and back to Eva. So he always focused on Eva. I think it was because together they were having a lot of shares in the company. So they could, where if he convinces Eva, he can convince the rest of the company to follow his will.
Okay. Can you specify what kind of behavior, what kind of messages Eva then got and I believe still gets?
Yes, I have been following this because I'm in the board as well, and so I can testify very well to all the professional, in quotes, communications that we have received from Eric, and I have had to report myself this to the authorities because to me it also became unbearable. So we are getting from Eric a lot of email content and a lot of chat messages with insults and defamations and lies. And
you're referring we as a
when I say we,
company,
I say Eva.
Is it
always Eva, and then in CC of the message, in connection with the message,
copy all the
other
others?
people from the team or from the board.
But do you believe it's headed to Eva? And
Yes, because most of the lies and accusations are to her.
Okay.
And then other people are also getting accusations. Myself, I am being accused of many things, fraud, many things. And all of this together is kind of, in Eric's belief, I believe it's like a conspiracy that he says that everybody is helping each other against him. So he's taking something and then making a big story around it to connect all the things that have happened.
Can you give me an example of a few messages about the content and about the how many are they per day, per month?
Is it possible to show this, or should I read some of these messages, or just explain the content of it?
Just explain.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
just explain. Yeah,
in terms of the amount, I had to myself report this, and in this process I made a summary of all these messages. So in terms of chat messages, it's in 11 days I received from Eric 2,848 messages in chat.
Over 2,000 messages in 11 days.
Yes.
Yeah. Are these headed to Eva as well?
As well. Every time I'm talking about me, Eva is in CC, and usually either the subject of the conversation or things are being said about her that then she has to respond or defend or tell us it's not true, or we start asking her, is it true? So every time he does this, it creates a lot of anxiety for Eva.
Yeah.
In terms of emails, I have here days when I get emails, over 40 emails sometimes per day. Even this morning I got 4 emails from Eric, and Eva also got these messages. Even
so
though
I repeat, over 40 emails per day, and this morning you got 4 emails.
Yes.
And those are headed to Eva,
Yes.
but you are being put in copy.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was addressed
But
to Eva.
Do you
and
believe she's the target of them?
yes,
Yeah.
but he also switches targets. So he
Okay.
has a problem with me. He has a problem
Okay.
with everybody.
Okay. But since we are now today
yes.
talking about the restraint order against her
Yes.
only. Yeah.
This is definitely targeted at her because it is addressed to her, and
Yeah.
other people are in CC of these messages.
Yeah.
And on, I think it was August 21st, Eva said, "Stop, I don't want to hear any more messages." And now we have received already maybe more than 25 messages, including these 4 messages this morning.
Okay.
Eva included, of course, yes.
Okay.
So it is basically, in my opinion, a trolling tactic to create very complicated, long, because some emails are 11 pages, 10 pages of text.
Does they have a special content? I mean,
Normally they try to create relations between events, to say that Eric has been treated unjust, that he has suffered, and that there is a conspiracy between the police, the auditors, the Finnish police, yes, and us. This is the statement, yeah.
okay. So, in your opinion, what has been the effect on Eva's personal state of mind and health and working abilities?
Yes, so first of all, I think from the board work, she has had sick leaves. One of them almost 1 month, in February 14th to March 6th.
Yeah.
There was another one in October 13th, 2021, so last year. And even before, on March 25, 2021, there was also a first sick leave. So I have, obviously, even if I wouldn't know Eva as a friend and as a colleague, everybody was alerted to the fact that she was unable to work and needed rest. And as a friend, she explained me that she has panic attacks, that she worries for Eric, and I also do the same. And then at other times, fear that he could be paranoid or crazy. And this is because he has shown us videos, for example, of when he went to the police, or when he or what the police has told him. And instead of listening to the police, he says that there is a problem with the police. But the police has told him that there is nothing he should stop, or that they don't pursue, or that they won't react. But to him, this is a conspiracy, again, by the police to cover up, for example, money laundering. Eric is talking a lot about money laundering, and there is absolutely no substance to his case.
Have you perceived, you said you've received, Eva has received kind of insults, but has she received threats, direct threats, or surrounded threats?
Yeah, so she has received insults, and that is for sure.
Yeah.
Being called really bad words. There's one part of an email where he's calling her a bitch of a worthless whore. And this is she's doing Satan's work, and that is connected to very graphic sexual content or images where Eva is involved in some sexual interactions with her lawyer and us, because he's saying something like, we are all in bed together, but in a very disgusting, sexually explicit way. So these are very disturbing messages. And then there is liars, extortionists, criminals. So he's calling her all these words.
Okay.
And yes, I think.
Okay.
Yes. And he has been said many times to stop by her, and by me, and by others, and he continues to send messages like that.
Yeah. And answering him, if Eva's in a position that she has to answer him, does it help? I mean, does it calm him down?
No.
No. Yeah.
The more, both, nothing helps. Not writing, he writes more. And when you answer, he writes more.
Okay.
So.
And do you think he's going to stop now? Or do you believe, since he wrote 4 emails today, do you think he will continue without the restraining order?
I don't think he would stop without a restraining order. I think he would continue. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to ask. Do you have something yourself to point out?
We have told Eric to stop, and Eva has told Eric to stop, and he was also informed if he has a problem, he can go to court. He can take legal steps. So it normally should be that Eric only uses his rights and doesn't abuse his rights when it comes to communication. So he's using the company also to contact Eva and interact with her. And I think this should also stop. Eric has a right to call for meetings, extraordinary meetings in the company. And he has done 6 meetings so far for him to talk about other people, including Eva, to talk his problems with these people in front of shareholders. So this is, to me, it's trolling behavior, and he should not abuse his rights like that. Then he should also limit his communications, because now he talks about shares that he owns. Before he was talking about money laundering. Before he was talking about email, a mistake that I made with his email account. Then he told us before about legal dismissal. His dismissal was illegal in his understanding. Then he was talking about blackmail. So he was telling us that we are blackmailers before that. And then before that he was explaining us the liability and many issues. And before that it started with him having more control in the company when it comes to governance. So all these issues are still active today, and depending on whom he's speaking to, he's making a story to connect everything to claim that he has been a victim himself, when I believe Eva is the real victim of him.
Okay.
He's putting in CC not just the team members, but also auditors, PRH, shareholders, and clients. So this is heavy. When you are telling somebody you are a bitch, or you are lying, or you are a criminal, and this message goes to many people.
Yeah.
It is always heavy for Eva. and Eric has so far not accepted any of his mistakes. So it is really hard with Eric to resolve things because he is not able to admit his mistakes. Whereas we are able to say, okay, we make mistakes, we make solutions, we are not perfect, but at least if he could understand how many bad mistakes he has made, maybe it would be humbling to him, and maybe it would help him to understand better what really happened.
Okay.
Then
One last thing.
Can I ask questions?
Please.
One last thing is these many accounts when Eric is mixing the children's into the discussion from the business. So there, I think, in my opinion, he's crossing a line every time. He's mixing the children with the business. And
So he's masking the message as a business message, but it includes references to Eva's personal life.
yes, in one instance he said that we are using his children against him. So Eva, and he says that her lawyer tells her to use her children against him. And these things are not true. I know that they're not true. And whenever he mixes the children like that, it's disturbing. And this should stop. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
and then your turn to ask
And
questions.
when can I respond to the statements? Because lots of false statements, would that be another time, or can I respond to them now? Or...
You have to ask questions,
Okay.
and if your opinion about his saying is
Can be
different, then that's the other time when
Another
we are
time.
taking
Okay.
the
Well, just for
final.
questions. Urs, did David come to you 3 days before my dismissal with serious accusations, a Friday night, March 12th?
What kind of accusations?
Well, did you approve his letter that he then sent me the Friday night?
Serious accusations about you, such as overstepping your authority,
I
right?
do hereby, well, I'll read you. The letter starts, you're in copy.
Uh-huh.
I asked who was, after this letter was sent, I asked who is, anybody not supporting it, please say so, and there is no response. Dear Eric, this is from David Brohal, the person I accuse of the money laundering. I do hereby declare that you do not have the authority as CEO in the company and do not have the right to represent yourself as CEO of the company until otherwise stated by the board of directors. And then it goes on that it has come to my attention that you are
We are
sole
not-
role as well. Did you approve this letter? Were you aware of this letter and approved it? Did
The
you
I
money
receive it?
highlight to
laundry
the
is
witness
not-
that this is not the process for the company issue.
No, well, yeah, because
So,
in his,
I don't
in his
think you have
testimony,
to
in his
answer
just a minute,
the
in his whoa,
questions
is
about the
this-
company.
Is this my time to ask questions?
Yes, but we are not.
But in his
It's not
test,
concerning about the money laundry.
no, this
Yeah.
is not that. No, this is not about the money laundering. This
You
is concerning
said that
Urz's
there was
testimony.
the person
Urz's
who-
testimony says all of this that I object, that the wrongdoing I do not accept for my dismissal as CEO is the cause of all this. So I'm just asking, did he see and approve the letter making these accusations that I'm not even a legitimate CEO? So, and it goes on to say that I do not even have to be dismissed as CEO because I'm not a CEO. Just a new CEO has to be elected. So you were aware of these accusations, along with accusations that I signed invalid loans that you also signed. Are you aware before? Did you talk to David Brohal Friday, March 12th? And he brought these accusations, and did you receive this letter then Friday, 11 p.m. night? That you're also.
Can I answer this?
Yes.
Yes.
Were you aware of David's accusations before he sent this letter? Did you approve his actions of sending the letter? Were you aware of the letter after he sent it? Those are the 3 questions.
One at a time.
Well, were you aware? Did David come to you and
these
explain these
accusations?
accusations Friday night, March 12th?
David explained these accusations, yes.
Did you approve that the accusations were true?
I approved this email.
You approved his email, thank you. And then obviously you were aware of it. So obviously this will be evidence later on of what these accusations actually are and why I disagree. So then,
that's not the point here.
well, he says my motivate. No, just a minute. The testimony is my motivation is like retribution for being fired as CEO. He mentions many times that what I'm accused of wrongdoing I can't accept. So that whereas my testimony later will be my experience, which is I received this letter accusing me of not even being the legitimate CEO, and this is what I am opposing. As well as invalid loans, and clearly...
That's now cleared.
Yeah, so that's it. So then next questions is well, I guess there's lots of false... I can get the testimony later, because like there's lots of references to messages that I have and can then demonstrate that's not what was said. Or do I have to do it like through questioning?
You have your testimony on
Like I will get the testimony in writing?
On another day.
What?
Well, no, I'm just saying, do I get the testimony, or is this testimony in writing and then can...
No, it's the tape. You
Oh,
have
I get
to
the tape.
listen. Your lawyer or
My lawyer,
you
okay,
can,
yeah, okay.
can
So like
hear
just...
the tape.
So just like things that can be proven false just by documents can be sorted out later. I'm just wondering, I'm not a lawyer, so I only had 2 days to prepare,
You
so...
can hear the tape.
I can hear the tape and then respond to it before there's a decision made, is my question. I'm not a lawyer, I have 2 days to prepare, and this is my first hearing of this kind. So another question, Urs, is then, you mentioned the mistake on the email, right? What was this mistake?
Yes.
It's not the point here.
Well, he mentions it his testimony is I'm making a false accusation about his mistake. So he mentions the mistake on the email himself. I can't question him about it.
That's not the point here.
But, it's in his testimony. He made a mistake on my email. If the accusation is
We'll answer that. It's okay.
So I have to describe the mistake that I made.
Yes.
No, it's not got nothing to do with this affair. It's got a company
It's
issues.
a different issue.
It's the company
He mentions it
issue.
in his own testimony. If he didn't bring it up, I wouldn't bring it up.
Urs is not here to discuss about the company issues.
But then why does he mention the mistake on the email? It's in his own testimony.
Because I wanted to tell you that you are mixing things, such as this and many other things, and you shouldn't.
So he can't say he can't answer the simple question that the mistake. That's just confirming his testimony they already made. It was just a simple mistake.
Yes, but that's not the issue here.
Well, I cannot take a sentence from his own testimony and say, please say that again is true.
Because that's not the point here. We are not discussing about
Well,
the differences or mistakes, what has happened in your company. That's not the issue here.
I'm accused of being paranoid. What are the words? Paranoid, crazy. He uses the words, right? Then he said. Then one of the things I'm crazy about. Well, not crazy. I wouldn't use the word crazy, but angry, furious, is the illegal access to my emails, which he just brought it up in his testimony.
We got the point already.
So he cannot just describe what this accident was.
No, that's not the point.
But my defense will be this accident was...
We understood that you are...
it appears to me the email access is central to the money... The email access is central to the money laundering, accessing my email, deleting evidence. So if there is money laundering, at least credible suspicion of money laundering, my actions are rational and there should not be any restraining order.
That's the issue that I...
But the judge is not allowed... The judge is... Just be clear for the record. The judge is not allowing, in this English process, which apparently is not supposed to exist in law anyways, but in this English process, the judge is not allowing the witness to just elaborate on a sentence he submitted as testimony.
I don't think it's essential what are Ursi's possible mistakes in the company.
That's
That we're
the
now
difference.
But he
treating...
accuses me of mistakes and not owning up to my mistakes. Well, can't he just lead by example and say what
I have
the
no
mistake
problem
was?
to answer the question. I'm just waiting for people to
Yeah, he wants to answer
understand
the
it.
question.
Okay, answer
Great.
that.
Go ahead.
Sure, yeah, I can testify to that. This email access happened because my email program was logged into Eric's account. And the reason this happened is because around, at least before or in 2018, Eric authorized me to access his email account, and it was in my email program, his email account. And when it was time to delete, reset his access, because he lost access to his email account, I had to do that. And I was very overworked at that time and tired. And because I had access to his password and his account, and because I was allowed to read his email by Eric, which I can prove, I went, instead of resetting his email password from the admin tool, I used his login to go into his account and reset his password there. And then he didn't have access anymore, and then I logged out. And then, because my email program had his email account there, I must have, because I have no memory of this, but I reconstructed what must have happened. I must have entered his password again that I reset, the new one, and it was a very long one, but I had it in the copy-paste of my computer. When this window just comes to ask me for his password, I just pasted it and hit OK and forgot about it. And then when Eric regained access to his email account, he reported to us that one email was marked as read, which was an email that was already in the possession of the company, because I and other people in the company were in CC of that email already. So that wasn't even new information. And at that point, I realized that I had access to his email account for that time duration. And we immediately took action, reported the issue also to the ombudsman. The board took care of that. And yes, I have nothing more to say than that it was a mistake and that there was no intended harm with this issue.
Okay, and you didn't follow up question. You did not create eric.wisens.archive to try to move the messages and cover up so that you would reissue me a fresh email account without any logs and without any emails and without any access to this evidence. You did not create eric.wisens.archive.
Do you ask multiple questions? Overall, I would say no.
Okay.
But to answer your question, I created, I moved or renamed your account when I archived your account. And that's what I do with all accounts that I archive.
When you created eric.wisens.
That's enough. He has already answered that main question, and those details aren't
insanely relevant.
No.
Along with the emails deleted from my account.
That's the different.
Well, if you want to evaluate for yourself, I can give you one of the email attachments that is deleted from my account after I get re-access.
The issue here today, it's the different.
Well, if there's evidence, if there's evidence that is not, if there's evidence, right? Maybe it's not sufficient for proving, convicting somebody, but it's sufficient to believe something. You're for sure not crazy. Like if you have evidence of a crime, even if nobody gets convicted, if there's real concrete evidence, you're not crazy. So he's accusing me. He used the word crazy, paranoid, crazy. Now, hearing this explanation of the emails, he changed the password, but he didn't change it from the admin where he can easily change. You can even just deactivate the account. So he goes into my account. After I tell him any access to my account will be an invasion of my privacy, then he changes the password to something random, a long random password that he still has somehow, that he re-inputs, right? Hearing this story, maybe you wouldn't, you view that as sufficient to convict somebody, and it was an accident, which in correspondence interception, it's criminal negligence anyways. But my counterpoint is just, I'm not crazy for thinking this is not proper ways to deal with someone's email, as well as if then messages are deleted from the account after I access it. The key emails that prove the money laundering, but I already had.
That's enough now.
Sure. And then my next question is, Urs, you're concerned about Eva and her interactions with me. you also signed this board minutes, right? Do you want me to reread it to you? It is unanimously decided that no board member shall be authorized to communicate with Eric Wisens. It is also unanimously decided that, well, without approval, it is also unanimously decided that Eva, in order to protect her well-being and peace of mind, shall endeavor to minimize contact and dealings with Eric Wisens regarding company matters. Did you write these minutes?
What are the numbers of the minutes?
2022-08, board meeting minutes, 210813, undersigned, underscore, signed.
And you're asking me whether or not I signed these minutes or whether...
Did you write them, first of all? Did you write them, or did somebody else write them?
I can't recollect that. I need to open up.
Well, did you sign them? This is your signature.
Yes, I signed these minutes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So my follow-up question is, considering the board has made a decision, has recognized this problem of the stress Eva has interacting with me about all these legal matters, which I completely recognize is stressful. All of these issues are stressful, and I keep on recommending. Well, I'll get to that in my own testimony, but my question to you, Urs, is why wasn't somebody else selected to talk with Eva? Yes, I wouldn't talk with you because you should be recused from handling these issues, like my emails and stuff. But I said I'd talk to Will, who was elected to the board to try to resolve this issue. So why didn't Will handle all this communication? Or why not just hire a lawyer? Why subject Eva to all this stress of dealing with all of this communication with me, which I recognize is stressful?
Is this a question?
This is a question. Why wasn't anybody else appointed, especially after the board orders Eva not to talk to me?
These minutes, I think, were done to protect Eva from Eric.
Wow.
And to also make it clear to Eric that he can have these discussions with individual people, but he should make a difference between when it is a board-approved statement and when it is a person of the board talking to him, just to differentiate that.
Am I a member of the board when this meeting was made and minutes taken?
You were a member of the board, but you
Was
were
I a member of a board when these minutes were written and signed?
I
Did I
don't
sign
think
these
so.
minutes?
I don't know. You didn't sign. No,
Was I a member of the board at this time?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. So this is not an instruction to me. I get this document.
No. This was just the board discussing how to handle the matter with you.
Okay,
Because it was very apparent at that time
why didn't the
that
board
there was
care?
considerable harm from interacting with you,
Sure.
and most of that harm was borne by Eva.
So why didn't the board carry out the board's own instructions to itself of minimizing contact between Eva and I?
So you already answered to the point that I was from time to time selected as somebody to speak to you.
I'm not going to negotiate in an issue like you getting shares or you accessing my email. No, of course I'm not going to negotiate with you if you're the person I have a problem with. That's why the board is supposed to be impartial. Name somebody impartial, or a lawyer, or Will. I said Will. Will was elected to the board precisely because he wasn't involved in the previous issues. So this is my question.
You understand why nobody wanted to talk to you?
Well, then why? Then these are all negotiate. Eva phones me to start a negotiation.
Yes, because you reject to talk to other people.
No. The first negotiation before I rejected talking to you only after I had issue with you, and then therefore I should be negotiating with somebody impartial who represents the board.
I think it is easy to find records of you having issues with Will and you having issues with Lauren, which means he has an issue with every individual of the board.
Everybody has issues, including Eva, but I said, Will is the least involved. I talked to him. Or elect a lawyer. Hire a lawyer to deal with it. So that's one question. The other question is...
That is your demand to negotiate about something, and then the board can also decide to not negotiate with you if nobody wants to talk to you.
Eva phoned me to open the negotiation, which then never closed, and we keep negotiating. Then we negotiate about the email.
Yes, because you rejected to speak to other people.
Yeah, but you don't... No, when Eva phoned me the first time, I did not reject to speak to other people.
You reject to speak to other people, and you always dismiss who you're talking to, and then you go back to Eva to try to engage with her more.
For instance, this has
happened multiple times.
Back to Eva, engaging with Eva. These 4 messages you say I sent today, which is true. Who sent the first message? Do you know who sent the first message today between me, Eva, and I? Are you in copy?
I can go and pull up my email. From time to time, and just to answer to Eric's point, I'm sure that me or Eva from time to time answer when we get 20 emails. We send a very quick answer.
So who sent the first email today?
I'm just pulling it up. Hold on a second.
Between me and Eva.
Well, I'm sure I know what you're alluding to. I just want to make sure, because since you're asking me to check. Okay, I see an email from Eva that has 5 lines this morning.
And just 5 lines? That's the only thing the email contains?
It also contains the minutes that answer some of your points.
And how long are the minutes? How many lines are the minutes?
The minutes that were attached to the email, which were minutes that the board has created in the company, were 4 pages, including the signature page.
Okay, so Eva sends me 5 pages of text this morning at 6:42. You'd agree with that?
Yes.
All right, and then I respond with 4 emails and a screenshot of Eva reporting what the auditor said about these issues. The accusation of bringing legal things to the auditor is truly bizarre, but yeah. So you would agree that Eva sends me 5 pages, and then I send her less than 4 emails, maybe I'd say 2 pages. How many
if
pages
you are
would
trying to say that you send less messages than Eva, that's not true. And it's also not true that you send less content than Eva.
I'm saying comparable. We send.
If you want a statistic, for example, of how many messages you send versus how many messages other people send, for example.
And that's not my question. My question is, Eva sent me. You would agree that Eva sent me a message, 5 pages of content.
Yes.
At 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:42.
I agree that she sent 4 or 5 lines of email and a 4-page attachment.
And I reacted. Is there anything in my reaction, that doesn't make any legal sense? That's not just, responding to the legal content she sent me.
I haven't read your message.
So you haven't read my messages?
No.
Okay. So you're not aware if they're appropriate response to Eva's message she sent me in the morning?
I'm not aware if your response is appropriate or not, yeah.
Okay. And then again, in the day of this restriction order hearing, Eva emails me. Board business. She does nothing obliges her to communicate with me.
Other questions?
Yes, these, when you mention all of these messages, like, I'll get to them later, but just, are they all messages directly to Eva that you have access to, or messages in the board channel that when I'm a board member, or emails to the board? Like, do you know all of my statements that you say were addressed to Eva individually? Right? Is it possible that they're addressed to the company or other individuals? And it just seems they're addressed to Eva because she's the chair of the company, and I'm forced to communicate with her. Is it possible that it's not clear to anyone really who these messages, what the difference between what's addressed to Eva or what's addressed to the company?
Can I answer freely?
Well, answer the question. Like, these messages are, the first question, the messages you're referring to, are they only messages directly to Eva, or are they messages like to the company addressing the chair, or board messages in the board conversation, messages to the whole board?
There are messages to Eva with other people in CC, and there are messages to other people addressed to other people with Eva in CC.
Is there messages in the board channel?
There is messages regarding the board. There's messages for people as shareholders. There's messages to the trade registry. There's messages to former lawyers, existing lawyers. There's many messages with many people in CC.
Yeah,
sometimes it says Dear Eva. Sometimes it says Dear All.
Yeah, but it's possible that even if I say Dear Eva, but I'm addressing the company, and just sending my letter to the chair, which is what you're supposed to do. Anyways, it's possible that all the sentences you've said that you say were directed to Eva are actually directed to other people or entities.
No.
There's no doubt in your mind that all of this is directed to Eva.
I am saying that you make statements about Eva, to Eva, and to other people that are not true.
But you mentioned like it's always like there's a quantity of messages that we don't have a complete record of, which I can produce. So I will just print out all of these WhatsApp channels and emails and so on, so everything can be seen in Sense Contents. But my question here is just, in all of these messages to all these different people, right? When all your testimony today saying it's all addressed to Eva, or the key parts you're talking about is addressed to Eva, is it possible that it's actually addressed to other people or entities?
There are messages addressed to Eva, and there are messages addressed to other people with Eva in CC.
Yeah.
Then there are parts in messages about Eva containing wrong statements. And some of these messages are addressed to Eva with others in CC, and some of these messages are addressed to other people, or maybe the company. But it doesn't change the fact that you're making statements about Eva. Some of them relating to children, some of them relating to non-business things, and other messages relating to business things, but then also being inappropriate.
Okay, and just you mentioned this children thing, and the specific content. What was I complaining about vis-a-vis the children?
You said that Eva was using the children against you, and that cannot be good for the children.
Well, that's not what I said. Well, I don't know. We can get to correcting these statements. That's not what I said. I guess the correct version of events I'll have to deliver later. But and can, like the other, subject we're discussing about, and which would contain, the proof of the fraud or whatever, and everything that's in court right now. Did you write all these share registries since start of 2021?
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
Well,
the questions.
Well, it's difficult because I'm not a lawyer and so on, so I'll have to just collect my thoughts. I think I got. The money. Again, that I'm delusional about the money laundering is a key part of your evidence. I guess part of why you think I'm crazy. That's how you describe me. When did I first bring up the issue of money laundering to you?
That's not the issue here.
Well, I don't know. He says that's one reason I'm crazy, is I keep talking about money laundering.
And we are not talking.
It's not relevant for the CEO of a company to answer the question of when the previous CEO first mentioned the word money laundering?
That's not the issue here.
And this could not possibly be construed by anyone in the legal community or, society in general as obstructing like a clearly reasonable question. He says I'm crazy. Part of the reason he says I'm crazy is I keep talking about money laundering. And I'm asking just when did I first mention money laundering? As the previous CEO of the firm.
That's the only question about the money laundering that you can have now.
When did the words money laundering from me and first come to your attention? In email or verbally?
This is hard to. I would like to go back to my email.
Also, I'm fine with the judge.
That's how you can remember it.
How I can remember is that Eric bringing up the issue of money laundering happened after his dismissal. And this must have been in spring 2021.
So this is the first time you
this is when I recollect you mentioning the money laundering, and I think in messages that you have sent, you have said that you had suspicions while you were CEO about money laundering by this person, but I don't think you took any action.
But you weren't aware of these suspicions while I was still CEO.
I'm not sure I was. This is hard to answer. Whether or not I had been in CC of some messages related to that, I'm not sure. I don't think so. But maybe I was. I'm not sure.
So
since we didn't have
you never said you considered my reporting to you that this might be money laundering, these deals in West Africa. That you never said that this was
You answered
viewed as
the
a joke.
question already.
I'm not sure.
Well,
I'm
this
not
is
sure.
this is why we're
I
here.
think you may have mentioned it, but honestly, I'm not sure. You mentioned many things in the long discussions we had before.
Okay, you're not sure when I first brought up the issue of money laundering.
No, but I'm sure that you brought up the issue in a definitive, undisputable way as being money laundering after your dismissal.
All right. And, well, then, did you sign these shareholder minutes electing me to the board and making me a board member?
You mean the shareholder resolution?
Yes.
Yes, I'm co-signatory
Okay.
of that.
And in the board events that followed, these hundreds of messages that have been submitted as evidence against me, in the board discussions that followed, one of the major things was reported to me, which I then reported to the board, a threat to destroy the company if I did not issue the shares before any negotiation take place. Did anybody ever make a threat to destroy the company, leave with all the partners and clients and team?
Now I think you are discussing about the company.
No, again, I'm accused of being crazy. I would agree I'm angry, and for my defense would be I'm angry for a good reason. For instance, hearing that the company is about to be destroyed by board members. And for me,
But
it's
that's
reasonable
not the
to
issue
react.
here.
Pardon?
That's not the issue here. Your company is.
Well, otherwise? Well, what is the issue? It's demanded that I stop communicating with Eva, except for the kids and company issues. And now the evidence against me is all company issues.
You should only use your. Can I speak to
Company. Well,
clarify?
I guess just a minute. Their demand is, I guess, to reformulate in their own words, which is what I was about to say. My guess is I can communicate company issues just that are approved by them. I can bring complaints that are approved by them, objections that are approved by them. Shareholders, my view on shareholders' meetings and shareholders' votes and so on that are approved by them. And everything that they don't like is somehow harassment to Eva, who does not have to be in dealing with me. So, please answer the question, Urs.
No, we are dealing this now, and I have to say that we are continuing in other time.
Okay.
This is going to the wrong way now.